Oh, great stuff. Our church has a ministry here. It's called Celebrate Recovery. And that Celebrate Recovery ministry meets in the fellowship hall on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Celebrate Recovery helps us deal with our hurts, our hang-ups, and habits. It's a safe place to grow stronger in some of the hurting places in our life. The name of the ministry is Celebrate Recovery. And this morning, we are going to turn that from a noun into a verb. We're going to celebrate recovery. And so, Lee, would you come and stand here? This is Lee Janot. Lee has been a part of our church for about a year. And today, this past Thursday, the Celebrate Recovery group celebrated 1 year of sobriety for Lee. And in the midst of that year, Lee wrote a neat little, it's not quite a poem, it's better than a poem. And I want him to share that and just quickly just share a little bit of his story about his recovery. Lee, love you, brother.
Thank you, Pastor. Good morning. I'm Lee. I'm with Celebrate Recovery. I'm a true believer in Jesus Christ. I struggle with alcohol and anger issues. I was a heavy drinker for 25 years. But August 5th, 2012, a change was coming for me. Me and my wife was going to Freedom Baptist Church. The pastor there that evening was talking about the verse in the Bible, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He asked us how many people believe that Christ can do all things. Everybody rose their hand and said he can. Our pastor turned around and said some of them don't believe it. I was in shock. I couldn't understand what he was talking about. He said, well, Pastor, God can do all things, but he can't help me with my addictions. He can't help me with my drinking or my gambling. He turned around and looked dead at us and said, the reason why God can't help you is because you don't want to help yourself. At that moment, I felt the walls close in on me, nobody to talk to. I actually felt God was looking straight down on me and saying, what's your excuse now? Next day, I went to work. I texted my wife at 10 o'clock break, and I told her I wasn't going to drink that night. She said, you can do it. When I got home that night, 6 o'clock came around, I told her, I said, look, I need a drink. Maybe tomorrow I'll start. She said, go take a bath and watch TV. And when she said that, I blew up, knowing I had 2 beers in my refrigerator. I started yelling at my wife. She broke down crying. She left me in the living room. That night, I was in the room in the dark having withdrawals. All I could do is remember one of Joel Osteen's services about reminding God what he can do for you. I looked up at the ceiling of my house, and I called on God, and I said, Lord, you said you can do all things. I need you. I need your help. I can't stop drinking. That night, since then, I have not drank a bit. I have not drank nothing. About a month later, I told my wife I wanted to start out helping people. Well, one of the guys from our other church was going to First Baptist to do a speech. She asked me if I wanted to go. I said, well, I'm going to see. Well, when the Thursday came around, she asked me, she says, are you going or what? I said, nah. I said, I'm going to just stay home. I remember sitting at my table looking dead at the clock. It was 6 o'clock. Something told me, Lee, get up and go. I got up, went in my car, and I went to Celebrate Recovery. I wasn't going there for Celebrate Recovery. I was going there to support somebody. Come to find out, the guy there wasn't doing a speech. He also had an addiction. Right now, and to this day, I know God sent me there for a reason. When I got there, I was greeted by the CR ministry leader. She gave me a hug and welcomed me in. She made me feel loved and felt like somebody. In the months to come, I've been at Celebrate Recovery since. I learned a lot about myself and my relationship with Christ. One thing I did learn back then when I was drinking, I always figured, why would God want a drunk? Why would God even want to love a drunk? Being at Celebrate Recovery, I found out it's like a shepherdman. When he's got his whole flock of sheep, 100 sheep, and one decides to move on, That shepherd man's not worried about the 99 sheep. He's worried about the one that's straying away. And that's what I learned about with Christ. Christ is not worried about the people that's with him. He worries about the people that stray away from him. And Jesus Christ taught me that. This past Thursday, I got my 1-year coin. I wanted to show y'all. Right here. I've been free from alcohol since then. Let's see. A couple of months ago, I was reading papers at the job. I work at a recycling center. So I was reading through the obituaries, and it's like God spoke to me, and God said, make you an obituary about your drinking. I started thinking, I said, well, let me try that. So here's my obituary. It goes, my drinking addiction, his nickname was alcohol. He was born in 1988, and he died 2012. It's with great joy the passing of alcohol. Alcohol passed away August 6, 2012, at the age of 25 years. No memorial service was needed. Alcoholism proceeded in debt by losing money, hangover, loss of weight, feeling shame, and the chains that held me down. Survivors include my faith in God, my marriage, my life, my family, my health, my dreams, and my goals. Jesus Christ was in charge of arrangements.